What's up YouTube, it's Mr. Stevie J893 and I'm back with another video. In today's video I'm going to be doing a review of apps that I have on my iPad. So let's get started. Alright, so I decided to make this video and it's not going to be one where I go through every single app on here. If you have an iPad already or any Apple products, you already know the standard Apple apps that are on here. So I'm not going to be reviewing those with the exception of one, and that's just to make a brief point on it. Everything else is open game, and if you have any questions about any of the apps that I have on here, just drop me a line in the comments down below and I'll let you know where I got them from. This is my iPad desktop. Got a nice Star Wars scene there. If there's any Star Wars fans out there, you'll recognize who these are and what's going on in these scenes. But the first apps that I want to talk about, and I have all my apps kind of broken down into different categories. Like here across the top, you'll see I have a folder called Productivity, then another one with the App Store and Settings, and then across the bottom, Games, Social Networking, and things like that. So I'm just going to go through probably not every single one of them, but just the ones that have some really interesting apps on them. So let's get started. Alright, my first folder here that I have is my productivity folder, and in it it's got a lot of nice apps that are in here. The first one that I want to talk about is this one here called Documents. This is a nice app that when you open it, you can do things like send PDF documents, or even in this case, like my camcorder manual, I had saved it to myself as an email and then emailed it to myself, opened it up on here, and you can select to open it in Documents, and once it does, it saves it in there. And this is the entire instruction manual, so if I want to flip through it or go from one page to the next, it just scrolls like that. So it's a really cool app. The next one is an app that I have here called Faster Scan HD. That's the second one here. And what this app does is it allows you to use the iPad's camera as a scanner, and you can scan documents in here. So one of the things that I did was a reading plan from my Bible. I did the same thing, either email or scanned it, used the iPad's camera, scanned it, and then saved it in here. And it saves it so when you open up a document that you have saved, it looks, that's what the page looks like. So that's after using the iPad's camera and then saving it. And you have the option when you're saving it, whether to make it lighter or darker, where to crop the pages at. So it's a really, really good app. The next one, we already know that the iPad comes with notes, and if you're like me or anybody else, you may have had issues with your notes disappearing, and even though they stay in the notes folder in your email, it's just a hassle to keep having your notes disappear. So what I did is I found a couple of other note apps. One here is called Rapid Note, and this is it here. It's just a standard note-taking app. Nothing too special about it. But then another one I found is called iPad Lite, and if you haven't heard of it, it's in the App Store. It's free. You can whatever notes that you put on here, they're saved. I haven't had any problems with any notes disappearing. The next app, we already know that the iPad comes with Calendar app, but I'm not always too keen on that. When I first got this iPad, it's a little difficult syncing items between this and my Galaxy S3 phone, but eventually got it done. But the fact is, I wanted to experiment with a couple of other calendar apps. So one of the ones that I found is Calendar Plus, and with this one, the App Store was actually offering this. This is normally $6.99, but they were offering it for I think like 48 hours. It was actually free. So I went ahead and downloaded it, and as you can see, it has your day, month, has list view, day view, week view, month view, and year view, so you can actually see everything that you have for a year. And then like on my Galaxy S3, I have an app called A Calendar, and in that A Calendar app, you can color code different events, and when you sync it, and it shows up here in this calendar app, Calendars Plus, they're color coded the same way, so there's no problems with that. This is a really good app. Out of all of the calendar apps that I have, I'd probably say on the iPad, this Calendars Plus app is the best one. Alright, I also downloaded another one here called CalenMob. Now this one's a pretty good calendar too. It does have the list, day, week, month, and year view in it as well, but it doesn't have, as you can see on here, it does not have the color coding. It's a decent app. It syncs whenever you open the app, and it serves its purpose, but it doesn't have the color coding. So if you're one that does a lot of color coding on your calendars, you probably won't be too happy with this one. Alright, looking at my productivity folder, another app that I put on here was this Trulia. Say for instance, if you're planning to move or you're into real estate and you're looking to buy a house somewhere, you can use this app to just punch in your zip code. You can get information as far as the neighborhood. You get all types of information, houses that are for sale, the list price. You can get it pretty much everything that you can on the website, on a desktop website. So this is a really good app. Again, that's the Trulia app. I'm trying to move that over here. Now, that's all that I'm going to look at in my productivity folder. I'm going to move it on down to my next folder, which will be games. Alright, and that is over here. Alright, so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time, but I'm just going to show you some of the games that I do have on here. The first one is Candy Crush Saga. If anybody has played that game, you know how fun and addictive it is. This is what the screen kind of looks like going in, and you just play it by matching 3 or more of the same color pieces of candy up, and as you match them up, these items here break. These items right here break, and your items fall further down. It's a really good addictive game. Alright, the next one, or next two, is Temple Run and Temple Run 2. Now if you played these games before, you already know what they're about. I'm glad that they did come out with Temple Run 2, and also with Temple Run 2, when it first came out, it was so laggy that it was almost unplayable on my Galaxy S3. However, I haven't had any problems with it on my iPad. They fixed it and updated it, added a couple of other dangers into it. So it's really fun. I think I spend the most time playing Candy Crush Saga right now, but Temple Run 2 is a strong second. The next folder that I have here, I labeled it Media. And as you look through here, you see why. The first thing I have in here is the YouTube, and I'm at the wrong end here, the YouTube app. I'm not going to open that one. That's the basic YouTube app. Everybody already knows about that if you have an iPad. The next one I have here is MacTube. Now this is an interesting app here because, as you can see on this side, it shows you, actually if you go to the bottom, you can tap this button right here. It says account, and so it brings up information that you may have regarding your YouTube account. It'll show you your YouTube picture, then it'll show you subscriptions, which over here all of your subscriptions are listed on this side. Alright, then it also has a favorites, any favorite videos that you have, you can see those listed there, any videos that you save to watch later, your playlists, and then your uploads. Finally, a sign out button. This is a really interesting app, and the reason why I have 3 different versions, of course, you know, the YouTube app I downloaded, so it's standard YouTube, but this one I downloaded because it actually has an option when you're watching videos, you can watch them in either widescreen or full screen format, and you can't do that on the regular iPad app. Alright, and then the third YouTube app here is one that I downloaded. It's called Jasmine, and it's a YouTube app. Alright, so as you can see, you have a search feature, you have browse, you have all of the same information that you have on your other one, but the layout here's a little different. So if I tap the subscriptions button, you'll notice that over here next to it, all of the channels that I've subscribed to on YouTube show up. Now, if I want to look at one of these videos in particular from the people that I'm subscribed to, I would just like tap their icon, and then you'll see the screen shifts over, and their videos start with the latest videos that they added, and it goes all the way down. And this one also, I believe, has a full screen feature in it as well. We'll open it up and see. Alright, so here's the video, and the reason you don't hear any sound is because I don't have the sound on here, and it does have a full screen feature on it. Alright, next, for all the NBA fans out there, there's an app here called NBA Game Time. Well, it's just called Game Time. Alright, what this app does, this allows you to track information. Say for instance you happen to miss the finals, and you can get all the information about that particular game as well as anything else that's going on in the NBA on this particular app. Alright, so now you see right now the big thing that they're talking about is the NBA draft. Alright, you also have headlines, your latest headlines, which are right over here. And then next to that, the information that NBA has on Twitter. And now if I wanted to read something particular, up here you have this little button. Alright, and it shows you the dashboard, which is what we're already looking at. Then it shows you the latest scores in the NBA schedule, information about the draft, team standings. It shows you information about teams. Say for instance if there was a player, a particular player that you want to look at. Say for instance we want to see information about Tim Duncan. All you'd have to do is go in there, and then there's all of his information for this season as well as his career stats. This is a really nice app. You have a settings bar at the bottom, setting and info. This is one that I recently downloaded. It's a very good app. The next three apps that I have here are wallpaper apps. Wallpapers HD, which shows some really good images, and I use all three of these. Wallpapers HD, and it has an interesting little layout here. Now, I'm not really interested or into these types of images. However, if you want to look at something different, you could just scroll. Now over here in the upper right hand corner, it has a category and search, and this lists your searches or your saves, your history. Takes you back to the wallpaper home, and then shows you some other information about it. That will probably be out of the three apps, that will be the third one. That's the one here with the looks like the spinning wheel of death that appears on MacBook Pros from time to time. That's it, Wallpapers HD. The next one is Zedge. If you never use that, Zedge is a wallpaper, ringtone, and game app. You can download all types of things from it. That's probably my favorite. I actually use that on my Galaxy S3 as well. And then the last one here is Wallpapers. This one has a lot of good. This will probably be my second favorite wallpaper app. And it has up at the top, you can see it has recent things that were added, popular as well as random. And then you have a setting at the bottom here where it says all. Now what you can do is you can go in here and select different things. Like say for instance if you like abstract art, well what you do is you just scroll up to abstract and hit done, and then it will bring up a bunch of abstract wallpapers, and you can download those and use them on your iPad. It's a really good app. Next out of here, Fandango. Now if you like movies, if you go to the movies a lot, you can use this just like you do on the computer. You can use it to view movies, the locations, the times, as well as information about the movie itself and how much it costs. Next to that, Downloaded Mr. Tybox123 app. If you guys aren't familiar with him, I recommend you check out his channel. He does a lot of tech reviews, a lot of Apple products, Android as well. And then the TNT app is for watching shows that come on TNT. Alright, so that's pretty much it out of my media folder. The next folder that I have is a Bible folder, and I just have a bunch of different Bible apps that I use. The first one is Olive Tree, and I like that app because not only is it just a Bible, but you can also write study notes in this and then link them to a particular verse that you're reading. Another good one that I have here is this New King James Version Bible. This one is good because it has a lot of, if you are interested in like pictures or diagrams or maps like that, they include all of that in there. Now there are some that you will have to pay for. Once you get, they're really extensive. Once you get really into your studies and you look at a lot of different maps and things like that, you will have to pay for those. And I think they normally run anywhere from like $15 to $20. But the layout of it is really nice. I'm trying to get it to open up here. Okay, once you open it, here's the layout. So it shows you each book of the Bible and kind of lays out how many chapters are in it. So say for instance, if we wanted to go into Matthew, in the first chapter it starts here, and then in this bottom corner here you'll see a picture, and that's where the pictures or the maps will be. The ones that are included with this particular app, that's where they'll be. You can go right there and look at them. This one, you can also add notes and save them to verses as well. So it has that functionality. And the last app that I'm going to look at in this particular folder is an app called Pocket Sword. That is this right here. Now, if you're familiar with eSword for Android, this is similar to it. It's not as good, in my opinion, but this one does have the layout like this, and I have it set with the black background and white lettering. You can change that if you want to. This one you cannot add notes to, but it does have the Hebrew and Greek meanings. So if you tap on the Strong's Concordance numbers here, it'll show you the meaning of a particular word. That's something that I really like about that one as well. But honestly, I think eSword or MySword for Android is a better app. The last app that I'm going to talk about, and I know I said I wasn't going to talk about any Apple apps that normally come on here, but there's just one, and that's the Mail app. Now, a lot of people, use a lot of different apps, a lot of different mail apps. For me, I think the standard Mail app on here is just fine. I've tried there's a Mail app that came out a few months ago. They had a huge waiting list, hundreds of thousands of people, and I got on that list, and when I downloaded the app, I deleted it less than 2 minutes later because I didn't see what the big deal was. I didn't see why there was such a long wait. There was nothing special about it. I like Apple's Mail app because if you've got multiple email clients, you can set those up and you can have your mail come in. I mean, it's just a simple mail app, and you can deal with your mail that way, and you have I don't have any problems with it. All right, so that's pretty much a look at all of the apps that I have on my iPad right now. Let me just check. Well, the last one I have is WeatherBug. All right, and this shows you current information about your location. It shows you the weather forecast, temperature, if there's any like alerts, thunderstorms, tornado watches, whatever, those will pop up. Also gives you a 10-day forecast. Then it tells you what the weather is like hourly. And for some reason it's not popping up. It's saying it's not available. And if I wanted details, I could click the details tab, and this shows you information about the weather. Alright, so that's pretty much all the apps that I have on here right now. You guys know of any other good ones, leave them in the comments below, or if you have questions about the ones that are on here, leave them down there below and I'll answer them. as soon as I can. Alright, and if you guys like this video, give me a thumbs up, and thanks for watching, and do subscribe. Thanks. See you later.